Greetings, dear readers, I am back with another video. If you've seen my previous videos, you probably know that English is not my native language. I grew up in Moscow and my first language is Russian. Since my parents are Georgian, I also speak Georgian. Now you might ask, but you're Russian, why don't you do your videos in Russian or in Georgian? You might wonder why I do my videos in English. Short answer, more people speak it and it might help me to increase my audience. But the long answer is much more interesting. So here are 5 reasons I do my videos in English. This is the longer version of my short answer. I don't know how about other countries, but in Russia, when I was growing up, parents thought that English was extremely important. In Georgia, this belief was even stronger. I believe that they began teaching me English when I was 5 years old. Learn English, they said. It is important, they said. We all may come from different countries and speak different languages, but we all need one common language, and English fits that role perfectly for a number of reasons. It's the language itself, it's very artistic, pretty, and not that hard. Well, at least it's easier than most other languages, for example Russian or Georgian. And I think that it's very easy to get used to English when it's everywhere around you. Maybe the street signs where you live are written in both your native language and in English. Maybe most books you own were originally written in English. Probably most of your favorite films were originally in English. And English is kinda everywhere. You encounter it at school, you encounter it on social media, and when you turn on the radio, chances are that your average song is sung in English, and probably your own playlist is predominantly in English. I don't know. And music is actually kind of an interesting topic when it comes to English, and I will go back. Now let's move on to another reason. You can turn nouns into adjectives by putting them in front of another nouns. There are no declensions. You can pull off various word games, and there are only 3 articles. Well, it would have been better if there were no articles at all, but whatever. In short, English is a quite flexible language and easy to master. It was 2017, my studies were coming to end. To be honest, I didn't want to continue studying, especially given that there were no Russian courses. Well, at least I didn't find them. Studying in Georgian was out of question because unfortunately I'm not a very good Georgian speaker. See, don't get me wrong, I'm a decent speaker and reader, and I encounter Georgian every day, but I'm still weaker than most people around me. And so, given the circumstances that I couldn't study in Russian anymore, or at least I didn't search good enough, and that I couldn't study in Georgian, I decided to study in English. For the next 2 years, during these 2 years, 2017 and 19, my level of English significantly increased. In 2019, when time came for me to write a master's thesis, I suddenly had one idea. I've mentioned in my previous videos that I have written a fantasy novel. For 2019, I was writing in Russian, but then when I knew I had to write a master thesis, if I can write 60 pages of master thesis in English, I can also write novel in English too. I didn't just write a master thesis, I survived writing it. It was painful, I wanted it to end, and the thought that it was going to end was probably the main reason I didn't quit it. To be honest, writing a 76,000 word novel was much easier. I eventually eliminated all my manuscripts. I have to confess that my studies weren't the only reason I decided to do everything in English. Here comes the next reason, a more inspirational one, and we are going back to music. My favorite music genre? Metal, of course. Metal bands are my escape, my salvation, and my inspiration. And the music itself is legit very good. So, for a long time my playlist was a mess. Then one day I decided to clean it up and then check out some information on the bands. And when I did, I then noticed that most bands I liked, they spoke English as a second language. I didn't really care about that, to be honest, a few years ago, but nowadays, after my master thesis and a novel, I found it very inspiring that these people, they're also foreign English speakers with some interesting accents, and them being able to sing and speak in English makes me feel confident about myself being a foreign English speaker. Now, of course, I make mistakes. I've mentioned that in my previous videos. But you have to learn from these mistakes. I think metal bands inspired me to do things in English, like writing and making videos in English, more than anything else. One thing that I really want to mention is that I nowadays feel comfortable about my accent. Even though my favorite bands gave me confidence about my English skills, I needed quite a long time to feel confident about my blatantly Russian accent. And now here comes the fifth and final reason why I do things in English. I've been reading in English since forever. Back when I was a teenager, I bought a lot of Penguin Reader's small books. I still own most of them. Unfortunately, I've lost some. Then I switched to bigger books, but I still couldn't read them. Honestly, I couldn't read in English properly until 2020. I'm gonna say that something happened to me. Probably it was because of my master thesis, or probably because I really wanted to read Tolkien. But in March 2020, I went to the English language bookstore. Yes, in Tbilisi we have two bookstores for purely English books, delivered from the UK for the most part. I found this amazing book. To be honest, I didn't know if I could read this. I wasn't confident about my English skills, but the thing is that in 2020 I got very much deeply into Tolkien stuff, even deeper than before, and probably this passion is the reason I handled this book. This is actually one of the most important books in my life, and I will say how this, and I read this book, and what I really didn't know at the time was that we'd be able to read more books in English, bigger, with more words. And I read Harry Potter, His Dark Materials, The Kingkiller Chronicle, and a few other books in English. More Tolkien stuff, of course. It's quite an achievement to read Tolkien in English. I think if you read Tolkien, you can read any book. And there are more books to come. And that's it. These are all the 5 reasons I do my writing and videos in English. For me, the most interesting reason is the music. I will make a separate video on how I got into metal and how it eventually changed me and my life. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and wait for more content. Bye!